it's time to work. Let's go. Alright, so there he is. Today we're improving our electric box. I already made one. It's bad, I know. So I'm making another. Let me show you. This is the first box that we made. We painted it too, but it just, I don't know. It's a little flimsy, so.
We made another one. This one's made with sanded ply instead, so it's a lot nicer. And then here, we're just adding aluminum rail, and we're just fitting it to the 2 batteries that I bought. And yeah, we countersunk those holes. I got those tools from Harbor Freight. Funny story, that guy told me that when I rung it up, he was just like, I'm not gonna lie to you, man, I never buy Harbor Freight. I'm a Home Depot guy. And it's funny because that was the one time I went to Harbor Freight. So that's my impression of it now.
We are going to fit all those components as well as cut the wires so I can put the connections through. Cutting some wires, stripping some wires, and hopefully it all goes well. Let me show you what we have right now. Katsu's here, just sniffing around, but basically I have put in or laid out where I want all my stuff, and now I will have to put cables in between. Like for example, there's a port here, and I have to go over there, so I have to start cutting those wires and put it in. This is some 2-0 wire. This will be for the bigger loads, so the battery to this guy and this guy to that guy. No interest? Alright. I have our black wire and our red wire. I measured out the cable I need to cut. It's about 18 inches, so I bought this wire cutter. It's supposed to be able to do the job for all types of cables. Let's get it. Okay, now that the wires are cut, it's time to strip them and put on the lugs so I can actually use them. Full disclosure, this is all my first time doing all of this. Do I really know what I'm doing? Not really, but you know, this is a learning experience anyway.
This stripping tool had like a really small blade, and you're supposed to like clamp it and spin it around. That's what I tried doing, and theoretically it was supposed to only cut off the insulation. It kind of worked. I was okay with it. Here I'm just putting on heat shrink. You just heat it up and then it kind of like shrivels down and kind of secures the connection you make, which is pretty good.
Okay, got some confidence back. I am doing this right. I'm supposed to strip back 7/8 of an inch, which, you know, this is pretty much it. So I do need to crimp them, but I'll do that after.
Just some more stripping and some more heat shrink, just prepping these wires to get crimped later.
Now that the wires are ready to crimp, I have my crimping tool that I bought from Amazon. It was the cheapest one, and I set it so that it's the right size for this wire. And now I'm pretty sure we just clamp that stuff.
Can't lie, using this crimper was low-key a workout. It was actually pretty tiring and pretty hard to get it in. It was like using a pectoral press at the gym or something, especially because those wires are really thick. But with the smaller wires that I'm doing here for the smaller connections, it was definitely easier. I could strip them back with like even just an X-Acto knife, and it was pretty easy. And then crimping them was definitely easier too. You can see, you can kind of just like press it down.
Have a heat gun. Yep, that gets hot.
So after crimping all of them, it's time to heat shrink the heat shrink I put on earlier that I prepped. And now it was hard for me to get a good shot. The wires are pretty thin, so the camera had a hard time focusing on it. But overall, pretty easy, easiest process. You just put some heat on it and then it kind of shrivels up. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, this is just the distributor. It just connects this. The battery connects to this over here, the switch, and then everything else will get distributed through this big box. So that's what I'm working on right now.
I'm gonna call this distributor the spinal cord of the human body, because like it just connects everything else. But anyways, this is just heat shrink. It was the best shot I got. It was kind of nice. I got it while I was connecting a wire to the spinal cord here, and basically connecting all those connections and lugs I made earlier, and I just gotta ratchet them down to spec.
We'll go to the charge controller. I can't believe that took so much work just for one. This one, I have to order a new fuse. Do a little recap for electrical so far. Gotta say, Dad is definitely carrying on the logic side of things. You know, he helped, well, I made a plan and then he was like, oh, you're missing a lot of shit, so. Fixed that, ordered all the parts, and now I'm just putting together a lot of it, waiting for some parts, but yep, definitely learning a lot here. There's so much new things here. Just even crimping wires is like pretty difficult. I am excited though. I think we can get this up in time. Take a look at the garage. It's a mess behind me right now. There's just so much stuff everywhere and a lot of parts for me to figure out. And hopefully they all fit too. I thought I did the research to make them all fit, but you know, a lot of variables in life, so keep pushing forward. We got it. Electrical system soon.
A couple days later, the parts came in, so I started making more wires and putting them all together on the spinal cord distributor thing here. This ratchet tool set I got for these hex nuts were really useful. And then I had to create even more wires for the connections, and I used this Spyderco keychain knife that my boat friend got me. Shout out to him. It's a really very sharp knife, and I used it to strip like all the small wires. Very useful.
First extreme tilt of electrical, let me tell you. So basically I have to attach my wires to this nut right here and clamp it down. And basically I went to Home Depot to get this nut. And basically when I tried putting everything together, you know, it looks good at first, right? But no. It just doesn't go. Doesn't keep going. And these are both 5/16 screw and nut, but turns out that there are different thread counts. Who the f knew that? So it's called TPI, threads per inches. The nut I got was 18 threads per inch, and these are 24 threads per inch, I think. So I'm gonna have to make another stop to Home Depot to grab those. But yeah, for now I'll just do what I can until tomorrow. Since I'm on delay, I'm gonna just prepare the electric box for the holes so that the wires can go through. Bought this circular drill bit, and yeah, so never done this before. Enjoy.
The hole saw worked as you'd expect it to, thankfully. There was like a little drill bit in the inside that creates the hole, the center of the hole, and then the rest of it is just spinning, and then you just push through. The hardest part about this though was actually getting the wood piece out of the hole saw, because it would just get stuck in there and you didn't really have any way to get it out. So I just kind of used these tweezers, needle nose pliers actually, to kind of just pry them out. And you'll see I do that for all of them.
As you can see, this area is exposed plywood, or it's like the edge. So I bought this, I don't even know what to call it, but it's supposed to just iron on straight up onto this so it covers it. And I realized that mine's a little lighter, but you know, maybe it would be a cool highlight. So
this little decorative piece just irons on. There's like glue on the back, and it just melts on. And you know, this step is just really to make the box look nice if I decide to sell the van later.
looks pretty good. So next step is to mount everything on there.
Bada bing, bada boom, straight to mounting. So some of the components came with screws already, some didn't, and I just found some screws my dad had. Unfortunately, he didn't have that many, so I did have to run to Home Depot to grab some more because I didn't want too long of the screw to stick out through the back of the board. I wouldn't want that. First time using a multi-tool here. It's just a blade that shakes aggressively, violently, and I just needed this for an outlet. I have bought this rubber foam thing to protect the wires, so I'm gonna fill up the holes. And they are 2.5-inch holes, so if I'm using math, it's pi d, and it should cover the sides, the circumference. Pi d. Pi d did in fact work. So this pretty much finishes up the box. Now all that's left is to mount it and test all the systems.
The next step is just to mount it. I gotta put it in the van and hopefully it all works. I'm saving that for part 2.